We're going to break down the real cost of buying a house right now as it sits in 2026. So, everybody, a lot of people know there's some kind of a down payment. But what does it really take to buy a house? So we're going to use an example of right around $500,000, which is about our median income price here in Kootenai County, and break down for you guys a little bit of what you should expect if you're going to buy a house and options that we have. So if you go to buy a $500,000 house, it's critical to get pre-approved. And that is going to really determine what you need to bring at the closing table. It could be anything from a VA loan with nothing down to a 20% down on what that is. So talking to your lender is hands down number one most important start. So let's say right now we're going to do a VA loan because we're zero money down. That's easy peasy, right? I will tell you that there's a lot of mythology out there that says you have to have 20% down, FHA loans, conventional loans. I mean, I'm doing one right now with some clients that are buying a loan or buying it with 5% down. So on a $500,000 property, that would be $5,000. But there's additional things that you need to think about. So let's break it down from chronological order, time frame. So when you get the home under contract, we're probably going to put some earnest money down. Typically that's 1%. So on a $500,000 property, we're going to put $5,000 earnest money down at the title company. So we got $5,000. Okay. And then additionally, we're going to have a home inspection done. In North Idaho here, we're doing a lot of radon inspections. So depending on the size of the home, you might be about $400 for an inspection and say $200 for a radon test. And then if you choose to do a sewer scope or something, you might be another $150. So we're getting close to about $1,000 in inspection, and I'm going to keep this kind of simple. And I always like to expand that number just in case there's hiccups. If you get a bigger house, let's say you get a 3,500 square foot home, your inspection is going to be a little bit more, right? So now we've put $5,000 down. We got $1,000 in inspections. And so now we go through everything. The appraisal is usually going to be covered at closing. But what are closing costs? So typically in Idaho, you've got escrow closing costs and you have lender closing costs. And those are two very different things. The escrow closing cost covers the title inspection. If you're doing a loan, you typically have a lender title insurance policy. In Idaho right now, very commonly, the seller is paying for the standard title insurance, but you're going to have a lender insurance policy. You're also going to have escrow fees, and very typically the buyer and seller are splitting those fees. So just your escrow closing costs, and then they're going to have like processing fees and blah, blah, blah. You're probably going to be about $2,000 on this $500,000 purchase. Let's call it $2,500 just in case some escrow company out there is watching me and going, what the heck? So we'll call it $2,500. We had $5,000 earnest, $1,000 for the inspections, and about $2,500 for the escrow fees. So you're about $8,500 out of pocket now. And then you need to know what your lender closing costs are. So in our area, we're starting to see we're getting close to neutral as far as is it a buyer's market, is it a seller's market. A lot of sellers are actually paying some type of concession. So you might have, call it $5,000, $8,500 in lender closing costs that a seller might be willing to pay. Again, it means you need to talk to your lender to know what all that is and what clarity is. But just as we're talking, let's say the seller is not covering your lender closing costs, we're up to about $16,000 before we've even put a down payment down on the home, with the exception of that $5,000 earnest money. That first chunk that we paid will go towards either our closing costs or our lender fees. So ultimately it boils down to this. This is the best way to really get clarity on this. Go talk to a lender. And when you're having that conversation, I always make sure that my buyers have clarity around this. What is our number roughly that we're going to need to close, which means lender fees, down payment, and then we can generally get a good estimate based on what your purchase price is and what the escrow fees are. Those three numbers, combine that with, hey, we're going to have an inspection done, will give you a lot of clarity. Hey, if you have any questions about this, or you're getting ready, you're thinking about buying a home in 2026, reach out to me. I cover North Idaho. I love doing this. I love just coming at this from a heart. If you're thinking about buying in Washington or any other state across the country, like I have great lender or agent referrals that I can get out to you. So drop me a line, hit me up. BK knows the way.